After one of the biggest trades in NFL history, Deshaun Watson is now with Cleveland Brown. Matt, I got a simple question for you. What do you make of Deshaun Watson's arrival in Cleveland, and what do you make of the Browns now?
Well, Scott, I mean, if you watched last week's Simple Question, I said that the Browns would be the best destination for Deshaun Watson. And it is because they still are a playoff roster. Even with losing OBJ, they acquired Amari Cooper. They still have, Nick Chubb. They have an effective running game. They have a good defense. This was a team that really, in their beliefs and a lot of people's beliefs, was a quarterback away from being a real Super Bowl contender rather than just a playoff contender with Baker Mayfield. Overall, I think this is a great move in getting one of the better young quarterbacks. Granted, he hasn't played in a while, so you're going to have to see what he's like. There's still some possibilities as far as suspensions and whatnot. But if Deshaun Watson is the Deshaun Watson we remember, from a few years ago, then this is a good move for Cleveland, and it makes an AFC that is already, has basically the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL in it. It just makes it even harder, and those wild card spots are going to be full of genuine Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously a lot is being made of the Brown side of things, but this is a franchise-altering trade for both teams involved. And obviously, Houston gets 3 first-round picks, 2 additional picks, and they already have a young quarterback in Davis Mills, who I said at the end of last season, he deserved the right to be the Texans starter day one this upcoming season. It looks like he's going to get that opportunity. But obviously for the Browns, this could go down as either the best or the worst trade in franchise, maybe even NFL history. I don't think there's really an in-between. Like you said,
there's not.
We talked about it last week. Deshaun Watson is a bona fide top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He led the league in passing yards last seen in 2020 on a bad team. And now on the Cleveland Browns, this is the best team he's been on as a pro. So the success is evident that it's probably going to come together as long as the off the field stuff handles itself. But that's still a question. I have questions about the Cleveland Browns this season because it's likely that Deshaun Watson will at least probably see a 6-game suspension.
At least.
I'm worried about what the Cleveland Browns are going to be able to do without Deshaun Watson. Obviously, they brought in Jacoby Brissett recently. I watched Jacoby Brissett in Miami this past season. It wasn't great.
No, it was not.
So I have questions about whether Cleveland can kind of stay afloat in the likely absence of Deshaun Watson, especially when you look at the rest of that division. When you look at the rest of that conference and how loaded it is at the quarterback position on both sides of the ball with those other teams. So this season might be, it might be some growing pains this season with that likely suspension coming with Watson. But down the line, you mentioned it. This is the best team that Deshaun Watson has been on. And I would expect the Cleveland Browns to, once things get rolling, compete in that division and be one of the best teams in the AFC.
Absolutely. And I think the interesting thing is if the rumors were correct and some of the reporting was correct, there were guys that were lining up to join Watson in certain cities if he were to go to those teams. It's going to be interesting to see, even though Cleveland gives up 3 first-round picks, if they're going to be able to negate that by their free agency acquisitions because of guys wanting to play with Watson. This already now, the AFC West looked like they were going to be the division of death. A close second now is obviously going to be the AFC North, where you have Watson, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and then to a lesser extent, Mitchell Trubisky. It doesn't even seem right saying his name in that group. But it's going to be so much fun to watch once it's actually out there. But we're going to have to wait and see.
100%. And, you mentioned the addition of Amari Cooper is huge. And, again, like I talked about last week, Deshaun Watson, if we're getting the same Deshaun Watson that we saw in 2020, he don't need a whole lot of help. No. The help he has right now in Cleveland is more than he's already ever had with that offensive line, with that two-headed monster with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield. And you just add anything to that receiving core outside of Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson, Kevin Stefanski and the crew should be in pretty good hands. But that's going to do it for us for today's Simple Question. Catch us on tomorrow's episode. For Scott Proctor, my guy Matt Morris right here. We'll see you then.